Hey, MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the results from UFC Fight Night in Vancouver, Canada. Shout out to the main event, Raynard the Quitter versus Brendan Allen. We're going to talk about that at length, but I'm going to break down every single fighter. Remember, this is a results show. It's so we have our thoughts in order and we can talk about these guys right after the fights happened so that when I go back and I see these people on a fight card again, I can be reminded of what I thought of their performance and when I saw it, okay, at that immediate moment. That's important. Now, I want to pull up the fight card. This was our betting fight card for tonight. I had no parlays on this whatsoever because I only had one lock, and I only parlay locks. I don't parlay anything else. Everything else is a straight bet, and that's what we're rocking with. We did pretty well. 8-5 now. Depending on how you did it, you might have still parlayed things. That's on you. But on me, 8-5 overall. Feel pretty good about it. My one lock's definitely Luciano. No sweat whatsoever. And then we have some other misses in here. Some of the things I want to talk about are I had 3 live bet prompts in here. And when I break down these fights individually, live bet means you should probably be on the Discord stage with us watching the fights. Like right now, we're doing a results show. There are people on the Discord stage. Only 2 people left. Usually they're all watching football, which is what we're doing here. But shout out to them. You can come to the Discord stage, watch us live stream the fights. And during the fights, I should say, you can watch me and listen to my analysis and my breakdown of the fighters. It's really important, especially if I put live bet there. If you're watching these fights and you see that live bet marker, you're probably going to miss if you're trying to blind tail the chart because the chart doesn't mean what you think it means. Nobody said take Azmat Bakoyev in this fight. That's why it said live bet. Although it's on the chart, you should not be tailing that. So it counts as a miss for me, but not really because I didn't miss. I was smart enough not to make him a lock, even though initially I put out a parlay of Drew Dober, Luciano, and Bakoyev. That was before I did all my research and I looked into it. It doesn't really matter. It wasn't on the chart. You shouldn't be tailing shit like that. Please watch the videos. Pay attention to what the props are, and then come watch them with us, bro, and listen to what I'm saying. Because it's either going to save you a lot of money or make you a lot of money. One of the two. But if you're blind tailing and not on the Discord stage and not watching the fights with us, I can't help you anymore. Remember, color scheme. If it is green, it would be in white text when we win, because green on green, you can't see it, so it turns white. That's a lock. If it's black, those are leans. And if it's purple, those are value bets. And they all hit at a certain rate. My locks hit at 73%, 73.5%. My leans hit at 66.87%. Value bets hit at about 40%. Rico knows best plays. We're just on a bad run right now. I usually make it the most difficult fights on the card, and I give you a really specific reason as to why I think the fighter's going to win the fight, and then it happens or it doesn't. And lately, it's not been happening. We're now 15-11 on the season. At one point, it was really, really on fire. We'll get back there. All right. Shout out to us. Let's go talk about these fighters. So in the first fight of the night, Melissa Croden versus Tanara Lisboa. I told you Tanara Lisboa, the last time I saw her fight was a couple months ago, but before that, it was 2 years ago. And a couple months ago, I saw her in a fight throw 7 punches in 2 rounds. She was absolutely terrible. Looked like she was just there for a free paycheck. This time around, I learned a lot more about her. I really did. I know she's a Muay Thai fighter. I know she can strike, and she's pretty quick for the weight class, especially as a bantamweight. But she was tiny in this fight because this Melissa Croden is huge. And in women's MMA, physicality is 90% of the winner. It really is. It doesn't really matter how much skill you have or what you think you're doing, the little pitter-patter combo you're shadow boxing in the locker room or in the gym or something. That doesn't matter. If you're facing a monster, a Viking, this is what happens. Melissa Croden, if we follow her family tree, if she does a 23andMe, we're going to find out she's a descendant from Norway. Okay, she's from that area of the world. Those huge, big-ass people who just beat the shit out of people. That's who she is. That's what she is. She's very physical. She's also very slow. I didn't like the way she fought, but I think that during the fight, she learned how to win the fight, and I like that fight IQ. She got in the fight, and she recognized if I pressure and I crash down, I will win this fight. So that's what she started doing. She was pressuring, crashing down, and bringing the fight to her. That's very important. You guys understand what she was doing there. It's not the greatest skill set in the world to have, especially as big as she is. She wasn't using her length. I don't want to hear about what reach advantage she has. None of that stuff. If she's fighting another fighter, she's going to crash in, means reducing her reach advantage. And she did not fight for underhooks well. She didn't pummel well. She didn't fundamentally fight well. Over here, Lisboa, you can tell she trains at a gym. They've taught her the anatomy of fighting. She was fighting for underhooks. She was fighting for things. She's just not strong enough and not good enough and definitely doesn't punch hard enough. So she gets crushed in this thing, and it was a TKO in the 3rd round. It was just a mauling, if you will. This Lisboa fights like a girl, And Croden fights like she likes girls. Two different things here. Croden fights like a man. And that's important because that's where the UFC's headed. They're going to start getting these intersex athletes, these huge athletes. That's what they're headed to. The pretty little girls, they're not going to be relevant anymore. They're just not. So shout out to Croden. She looks like a monster. She beat the shit out of you. She smashed you. Limitations to her ability to fight. Limitations to her fight IQ. She just looked inexperienced. That's what it reminded me of. But we got it right. Shout out to us. Next fight, Asmat Bakoyev against Bilagori here. This is a fight that it's wrong on the chart, but I wasn't wrong in my assessment on this fight. I told you live bet it, and I told you when you go watch this fight, I need you guys to pay attention to something. This Bakoyev guy is going to be small, and he's going to need a takedown to win this fight. If he gets a takedown and he can maintain top position, live bet it and take Bakoyev to win the fight. But if he doesn't get a takedown, he is not a minus 300 favorite at that point. At this point, it's a stand-up kickboxing striking match. And if we're standing and we're not getting a takedown, well, then Belagori's got a chance to fight in this thing, and you're going to be in trouble. We watched the fight as Bakoyev throws some really hard strikes initially, but he's so small, that's his only chance at winning this fight was a knockout punch, a puncher's chance, and every fighter in the UFC has a puncher's chance to win the fight, except for Rainer de Ridder, right? Every single fighter can go out there and just swing, and you might get lucky. Yeah, he could knock him out, but I wouldn't bet on it, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're betting on this particular fight. So shout out to Belagori. What did I see from him? I saw a good takedown defense. I think he's still not knockout worthy. Like he wins this fight, victory by punches in the third round, but he doesn't have one punch power. He mentions Alex Pereira after winning. Hey, Alex gets a belt after every win. He just wants to be associated with Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira because they all used to fight each other in the kickboxing world. I don't care about any of that. The dude's pretty corny. His interviews are corny. The way he talks, he wanted to do a chant. I don't like none of that shit. Just trying to get more curb appeal and like appeal. Fight better, bro. Fight better. Fight like a bully. Do your thing. I thought he touched well, maintained distance, kept his spacing. He fights like a clean kickboxer. If you want to beat him, you got to make it dirty. So we'll see what the matchmakers do for us, but I'm not on this dude the way a lot of people might be. Shout out to me for letting you guys know, hey, you shouldn't have Bakoyev. Now, here's the problem. I know the vast majority of UFC bettors and even MVPs didn't watch the video and went ahead and parlayed Bakoyev. I know they did because I can see the winning sheets and nobody's posting their winning tickets. And every time they post a UFC winning ticket, it had nothing to do with this fight because they don't want to post their losers. Next fight, the only lock on the card that I felt there's no way this person can lose. Stephanie Luciano cannot lose to Ravina Oliveira. I know this. I've watched these two fighters fight. I'm convinced. The last time I saw Oliveira fight was 2 years ago. She lost to Lisboa. I can't believe in you if you lost to Lisboa. So we're in here. This minus 300 doesn't deter me. I told you guys I would put $300 on Luciano to win just to win 100. And then we get out there in the fight, and Stephanie Luciano, what a beautiful girl. She does look like a girl. She's still very young. I think she's 25 years old. She wins this fight by rear naked choke, but what she really won this fight by was masterclass. She's a complete MMA fighter. She does not have knockout power. She doesn't. What she has is, I'm going to say, fundamentally sound defense. She practices abstinence. She practices avoidance. You can't hit what you can't see. She's not going to be in range for you to hit her. She has great feet. She moves out of the way. I'm going to be talking about this left-handed God dude here in a second. So this girl does everything right in MMA, whereas that guy does everything wrong. So for me, Stephanie Luciano looks like an exceptional prospect. Here's the problem. She's a little too pretty. And I mean in her fighting style. If you go in there the way like Sam did, right? If you go in there and get dirty, you can beat this girl up. You can really beat her up. You can make it ugly, and I believe that. You can out-muscle her, you can out-physical her, and you can make it dirty. I don't think she's built for a dirty fight. But if you just stay outside and you try to do some kickboxing shit with her, you try to grapple with her, and you're real friendly about it and everything, you're going to lose you're going to get dominated. Absolutely obliterated. Now, I want to talk about Ravina Oliveira because I don't want to just ignore her completely. In this particular fight, Ravina Oliveira, I thought she fought well. I thought she punched hard. She was trying to bring the fight to Luciano. The problem is she couldn't hit what she couldn't see. but she's athletic. She looked in shape. She looked muscular, and she looked like she threw pretty decent leather. It was always that fear, like something's going to land and she's going to win. I think this girl, because she's such a low-level fighter, she's going to get one of those UFC debut girls, and we're going to get a real fight, okay? And Vegas doesn't like her all that much. Look at the odds. They gave her a plus 240. She was not a plus 240 in this fight. She looked like she was game to be in the fight. Unfortunately, she was fighting a world-class athlete, someone who could avoid her for the entire fight, and that's where it kind of just got away from her, almost like a snowball rolling down the hill. At some point, it just started steamrolling, and there was no getting back. So, shout out to Luciano. Easy lock for me. I knew she wasn't losing the fight. I'm proud of her. Thank you for getting it done. Next fight, Danny Barlow and Jordan Santos. I told you this was a live bet, and you needed to pay attention to a couple things. Number one, I don't like Jordan Santos as a fighter. Jordan Santos does not land properly. When he throws his strikes, he doesn't turn his fist over, his wrist over, his fist over. So he hits you with the front of his knuckles when he punches, almost like a slap or like you're knocking on a door. This is not painful. It doesn't even matter if he lands clean. He's not knocking you out. So the idea of Jordan Santos knocking anyone out needs to be off the radar completely. Like, never, ever think it's going to happen, no matter how tough he looks, no matter how mean he looks. Look at his stance right here. He looks like he's, I'm going to beat somebody up. I'm a caveman, all this shit. No, you're nothing. He's not about that life. Now, he's not a great grappler. He's not a great wrestler. So what's his skill set? Striking, being tough, maybe cardio. But it's definitely not, I'm going to knock you out. And I don't care what his record says and how many people he's knocked out. What he doesn't have a quit button. He's going to try, and he's going to fight, and he's going to do well. Now, he won the fight. And the reason I said live bet it is because I couldn't believe in Danny Barlow. You got to watch the way Danny Barlow fights. And if you don't see the fundamental improvement in Danny Barlow's ability to fight, you got to fade Danny Barlow. And in this particular fight, that's exactly what happened as soon as we started the fight. So what you guys got to understand is, what is Danny Barlow known as? He's known for being, quote-unquote, the left hand of God. He's this guy who can get a one-punch knockout with his left hand, and they want to talk about it. I don't believe it at all. I've watched enough of his fights to tell you that this is a very bad fighter. Are the strikes quick? They are. So you think this is a black guy, he's an uber athlete, and the strikes are going to be quick. He reminds me of Jalen Turner or T-Rex, Terrence McKinney. Like, he reminds me of all those guys. He's in that echelon of fighters in the UFC. This is not true. He is not in that echelon of fighters. He is below that. I don't think he's good enough to be in the UFC. So what does he do wrong? He fights like, and I described it during the UFC stream, but he fights like an American Gladiator. I need you to understand what I'm saying. If you've never seen the show American Gladiators, shout out to Zap and Titus, and I don't even remember all their damn names. Titan and Zeus and all these stupid-ass names. Tower. They would do this game where they would stand on these platforms and they would go up against regular Joes, right? Former athletes. And they would use the pugil sticks, the big Q-tip ones, and they would try to knock each other off the platform. So you had to stand on top of the platform and try to knock each other off. And if you move too far, you fall off the platform. And you're getting hit with this little pugil stick. And these dudes were all shredded using a bunch of steroids. And shout out to Nitro, right? All these dudes. Listen to me. That's how Danny Barlow fights in the UFC cage. He fights like he's standing on a platform and everything around him, the floor is lava. He cannot move off that platform. So if you're punching him, he doesn't circle away from the strikes, away from a power hand. He doesn't even back up. If you're punching him, he just stands there and he punches back. He doesn't move his feet. I watched the fight. His head and feet were on the Monster. This entire octagon was sponsored by Monster. So there was a big can, a big Monster can. It was black with green letters in the center of the octagon. He was standing on the Monster can the whole fight. And Rico, is this octagon control? Is he maintaining the center of the octagon? No. He just stands and doesn't know how to move his feet to avoid strikes. So if you come at him, you can hit whatever's there. You can always hit him. He's very hittable. At the same time, when he goes to strike, he doesn't bring his feet with him. So he never gets anywhere. So you can move out of the way, and now nothing's going to hit you. The way I've seen this happen, and listen to me. I'm an MMA coach. I'm an MMA fighter my whole life. I'm an MMA coach my whole life. I'm a hand-to-hand combat instructor in the military. I've done this for a living. Listen to me. When you go to the gym, there are these bags. They're on top of this base, and we kick these bags, and you fill the base with water or sand, but we did water, and you roll them around, and you roll them, and you set them up. They're the equivalent of a heavy bag, but they can stand anywhere. Remember, heavy bags got to hang from the ceiling. They're these bags, and you can beat up these bags. They never move, and you get to hit them, and you don't have to move. And you can just stay there in front of them, throw your combos and work it and do everything. Finish with a kick, finish with it, and you don't have to move. And until you put on the gloves and you spar and you move around, you might get muscle memory doing this thing where you're just standing still. That's what I think Danny Barlow's problem is. I don't think he's done enough rounds in the cage, in the octagon, in sparring with his coaches. I don't think it's muscle memory for him to circle away, to cut off angles, to do all the fundamental things that make you a better striker. I don't think he's good at it. I think he's a terrible striker. I think he's one of the worst, and that's his only skill set is to strike. And he's fallen in love with his left hand. I'm not on it at all. I think Danny Barlow is a terrible fighter in the UFC. I'm going to fade him every chance I get, and Vegas loves him. Every time I see him, because I just know there's going to be a crash, and he's not going to avoid it. Yeah, this dude is just there. Analysis by paralysis. Paralysis by analysis. Right? He just goes out there, he's analyzing the fight, he doesn't move. Oh, it's bad. And that's why he gets beat up. And that's why eventually the fighters keep hitting him, and it just pulls away. That's what his problem is. He's not moving his feet at all. He doesn't even pivot on his strikes. He doesn't even load his hips up. That's why we do combos, right? Jab, cross, hook. It's really about you pivoting on your strikes. He's not pivoting on his strikes. I wish I could demonstrate it. I'd look super corny if I stood up and showed you because you can't see my feet. But you should pivot on each strike, and that's why they go in that order, because you load your hips one way, and you're here, right? You throw that hook, and then you throw the cross, then you throw the uppercut. Everything is all about loading your hips back and forth, and pivoting. Danny Barlow does none of this shit. He's worst fighter, worst striker I've seen in a minute. Next fight, Bruno Silva and Hyun Sung Park. This was a really easy call for me. Shout out to Park. He's a good young fighter. I think he's a complete fighter. I do. He's a Korean fighter. What is wrong with Vegas? They made him a minus 220. I thought that was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Couldn't live with that in my life. Bruno Silva has a skill set that will beat you. Number one, he can strike. Number two, he can grapple. So where are you beating him? He's not a bad fighter. Why is he a plus 200? This is silly. Should have been a pick 'em at best. I'll take the plus 200. I was 100% right. Bruno Silva had a speed advantage, went out there and worked. And I think now that we've seen Hyun Sung Park lose to Taira, now he loses to Silva, I think we're going to see him get an easier opponent. But Vegas still thinks highly of him. So it's just going to be one of those situations. But he should win his next fight. He's not a bad fighter. He just can't make him a minus 200 favorite against somebody who's been fighting nothing but dogs. This was the easiest fight in Bruno Silva's last 5 years. So this was an easy call for me. Bruno Silva's good. He masterclassed this kid. Embarrassed him. Did what he wanted to do. It was no sweat. I wish more people believed it. Next fight. Oh, my God. So Cody Gibson, the school teacher turned fighter at 40 years old. Cody Gibson goes out here and gets himself embarrassed. He gets knocked out in the first round. I told you guys right before the fight, I was like, hey, this fucking Chinese dude is a good fighter. I hate fading him. I don't want to fade him. I just feel like he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, and if Cody Gibson can get a takedown to be in a dominant body position, he'll win eventually by points. He'll win this thing. He just can't get clipped. Famous last words. He got clipped. No, Cody Gibson was never winning this fight. Cody Gibson needs to just... He's irrelevant. He's irrelevant. I won't believe in him. And I'm sorry I ever tried to convince myself he had a chance to win this fight. Kyle Prepolak versus Drew Dober. This one was a little weird. We had a point deduction due to a low blow. Good ref. Whoever that little guy was, he was a good ref. Drew Dober was a minus 500 favorite. I don't like minus 500 favorites with durability issues. If you're a minus 500 favorite, you better have no weaknesses. You better have the advantage in striking, grappling, cardio, experience. I want you to check every single box if you're a minus 500 favorite, and I'm going to bet on you. So with Drew Dober, I told you, hey, I'm not putting him as a lock. I'm not putting him on the parlay. I still picked him, so I still believed he would win. And then he goes out there and he gets the win in the third round. I just saw a guy that Drew Dober's got no durability. Just remember that, okay? He doesn't. Can he bang? Will he bang? Sure. I hope they give him more fights with fighters that are real fighters. Now, Kyle Prepolek, we'll probably never see him again. This is the second time I've seen this guy. He fought okay. But he didn't throw anything with bad intentions. He fought like a Canadian. He fought like he wanted to apologize when he was done. Yep. It's crazy. He just kept apologizing. Like, that's what he did. He fought really apologetically. I was not impressed with Kyle. He punches a little awkward. He's got a weird stance. He strikes a little bit, but not really. Like, he hit Drew Dober with a couple strikes. He was throwing like a 4-punch combo or something. And it's like, okay, you put some leather on him. But when are you going to throw, like you want to take his lunch money? When are you going to throw like you're mad? Never. Because so now you just lost the fight and you never once redlined yourself. You never once gave it your best effort. That's fucking wild to me. If I tell you I'm going to race you, and I tell you the race is 5 minutes long, at any point during that race, am I going to run as fast as I possibly can? Well, I don't know. What if I told you if at any point during the race you're ahead of me, you won? Would you then run as hard as you can? Would you then try to jog with me and then sprint when you got close? If you were ever beating me at any point during the race, you won. That's kind of how a fight works. If you're ever in the lead at any point, you can win the fight. But you got to be willing to redline yourself and be willing to go for it. Kyle Prepolek, not it, bro. That dude will not defend your honor. This type of dude right here, this is the type of dude to call an exterminator when he finds a spider in the house. He's not a real gangster. He's not here to do anything for you. He won't protect you. Nah, he's a pussy. Shout out to him. Shout out to Drew Dober. Next fight. Kyle Nelson and Matt Frivola. Oh, my goodness. Got it right. Shout out to me. I knew that this fight was number one. Kyle Nelson, I told you this fight was not going the distance. And despite what it says over here, this fight did not go the distance. Dan Miragliotta has zero integrity. Zero integrity. Dan Miragliotta should be fired. Dan Miragliotta saved Matt Frivola with the bell with 3 seconds left in the first round. He ended the fight with 3 seconds left on the clock. He is an embarrassment to refs. And Kyle Nelson won this fight by TKO. But because Dan Miragliotta has no backbone, that fucking tadpole, he went out there and said, no, I didn't end the fight. I didn't end the fight. Okay, bro. Okay. It's crazy. Absolutely absurd. So here we are. Damn shame, if you ask me. Kyle Nelson wins the fight, no doubt in my mind. I just think he's a better fighter. I think he has better fight IQ, fought better. Everything was fine. Shout out to Kyle Nelson. Oh, by the way, Matt Frivola. No chin. He thinks he's a wrestler. He thinks he's a striker. I don't know what the fuck he is. He's kind of tough. He looks aggressive. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. Kyle Nelson, good enough. Nothing too great, but good enough. Next fight. My man Davey Grant. Davey Grant, Charles Jourdain. I told you guys. I told you Charles Jourdain has this amazing guillotine. He's got a guillotine that will choke everybody out. And that's why he's a minus 180 favorite, because he's got this guillotine that'll choke everyone out. So we don't have the guillotine, because I know Davey says, yo, we're not going to go grapple. So if we don't have the guillotine, let's go ahead and rock with this, right? Let's go ahead and do some nice things. Let's stay in a stand-up battle and in a stand-up striking exchange. Davey Grant, he's got a puncher's chance like anybody else. This is a 50-50. This is a pick 'em if we're going to stay boxing. Let's go ahead and take old Davey Grant. Old man is nice, bro. He's 37 years old. He can go out there and piece up this Canadian. So, here's what happened. Charles Air Jourdain did a flying knee to Davey Grant's face. Don't give a shit about you, man. He beat this man like a senior citizen. That's bad. So he caught a knee to the face. Then he starts scrambling around, and then we end up getting guillotined. And it's a win. And somebody said, hey, Rico, I thought Davey Grant would fight better than that. And I'm like, no, Davey Grant can't fight better than that. Davey Grant did what he's going to do at 37. It's like if I went to go play pickup basketball right now. Like, I'm in really good shape right now. I got my six-pack back. I cut 35 pounds. I'm running 5 miles every day. I just broke my 5K record the other day. Like, I'm doing all kinds of, I've broken my 5K record twice in the last 2 weeks. I am absolutely crushing it at the gym. I'm eating clean. I feel great. But if I go on the court right now to go run fives, I'm not dunking the basketball. I'm not dunking the ball, bro. I'm going to play defense the whole way up and down. I could dribble. I'm going to cross people over. I'm going to fly past them. I'm fast as hell. Well, I'm 42 years old. I'm not dunking the ball. You shitting me, bro? If I was 21, I'm going to meet you at the rim and we're going to see what's really cracking. I used to have a real vert. I'm 42. So if Air Jordan over here is doing a flying knee because he's in the best shape of his life and he's 20-something years old and he's fucking flying around. Dude, Davy Grant's not beating him, bro. Davy Grant got nothing for that. Davy Grant said, yo, I want to fight right here. I didn't know that dude was going to be flying in the air. Fuck is wrong with you? He caught a knee to the face? He was busy looking for combos. You shitting me, bro? I remember I have my cousin. Shout out to my cousin. His name is Disco Cat, my cousin Yuli. Shout out to my cousin, man. We used to play Halo a lot. And I mean, we were good. KDA over 3. We would win 90% of our games. I mean, we were just a problem. You don't want to fuck with us, bro. We were just a problem on Halo. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach. We got to Black Ops, Call of Duty, right? We did all this shit. I'll never forget it, bro. We were so good at all these first-person shooters. And we get in the games, you be seeing fucking blackbirds going off and dogs being called in, you know, all these kill streaks and all this. We were amazing. And then we didn't buy one of the games. We just stayed on one of the older ones. And then a new game came out. I think it might have been the new Halo or the new Black Ops. One of the new versions came out. We skipped 1 or 2. We just stayed on the old game because I didn't want to spend no money on video games. And this was probably like 5-6 years ago. One of the newer games came out, and we bought it. And we started playing. And now, all of a sudden, motherfuckers were flying through the air. They had bodies of armor. They had all these superpowers. And now they had bumpers on their controllers so they could jump and shoot all at the same time and do all this. We were like, yo, what is this shit? 40 years old. I've been the best video game player I ever known my whole life. Borderline professional. You ain't beating us. We'd take all your lunch money. Right now I'm a Diamond 1 player on League of Legends. And I play 1 game a day with my son. I'm amazing at video game. Naturally, just great. We got on that first-person shooter, and we were like, yo, why are these guys flying through the air? I can't do that. Dude, get down at my level. I will shoot you like normal. Play real, bro. Be down here. You're doing flying knees in the air? I'm not beating you, bro. I'm not doing that no more. And once I learned the controls were just getting a little more complex, I was like, man, fuck this. I play Fortnite 0 build. Stop building all that shit, bro. I just want to shoot you. I could beam you real quick, bro. You can catch all these rounds to the dome. Every time I shoot a guy, he throws up a wall and builds a wall. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing? What is it, bro? Just come out. Let's just see who can really shoot. That's how it is with Davy Grant right now in the UFC. Davy Grant is an old school striker. He's just a good old, hey, dude, Davy Grant had a couple mugs of beer. He had a pitcher of beer. He went out back and said, yo, let's scrap. And then that motherfucker broke out with some breakdance moves. Davy ain't winning. All right? I hope you guys get the gist of it. Davy's getting old. He's going to fade away. Father Time's undefeated. And Charles Jourdain's on a trajectory like this. He looks sharp. I've seen him lose. I've seen him fail us before. But he looked really good. There was a weight change here. He's now at bantamweight, so he feels better at bantamweight, looks more explosive. That's cool as well. So don't let me fool you as I go off on these tangents. I know exactly what I'm saying. I know why he won. I know what it is. It's just I'm trying to explain to you guys, like, there comes a time when you recognize, oh, that's not for me. That's not real. Okay? And for Davy Grant, he's not going to beat an elite fighter or an up-and-coming fighter. It's not going to happen anymore. Speaking of not winning, Manion Farrow versus Jasmine Jasdavicius. Now, I had Farrow winning by points. I had her winning. I knew she was going to win. I like her to win. It was one of those picks. There was just no way she's not winning. This is another case of physicality beating a skill set, if you will. So what do we know? Well, Jazz Davish is actually older than Farrow, which is crazy because they don't look that way. Farrow looks like she's lived a hard life in the snow. Farrow looks ridiculous. By the way, Farrow's entire physique is disgusting. She's built like one of them Scotch sponges. Yeah, she's built like one of them yellow sponges, the 99-cent ones with the green pad on the other side. She's built like one of those sponges. She's gross. I don't know what the fuck she's built like that for. No curves, no nothing. She's just, great fighter. Going out here and winning by punches is not what I saw. A knockout in 1 minute is crazy. Jazz Davicious, all she can do is wrestle, and she's a great wrestler. But I've watched Farrow defend against takedowns. Remember, she fought Blanchfield just the other day, just a couple months ago, and she absolutely dominated Blanchfield, made her look silly. This girl right here, she's not the greatest fighter in the world, but she's physical. She can go out there and stop the takedowns, and now she can, if she punches you, it's going to hurt. Jazz Davicious was disputing the stoppage. She's an idiot. There's nothing to dispute, but she's still a good wrestler. So she's probably going to get decent fights moving up. We'll see what happens. She was on a 5-fight winning streak, something like that. She's still a really good wrestler. Don't forget that. Don't let this fool you. You just get caught, you get beat up, and she was going to lose anyways. I don't care if it wasn't going to be a knockout, she was going to lose regardless because Farrow had a physical advantage over her. Next fight, Chito Vera against Aman Zahibi. It's what I told you guys. I just don't believe in Chito Vera. Marlon Chito Vera is trying to preserve himself and his health to just make sure he's healthy to get another fight this year. Like, it's about money for him. He's not trying to get hurt, doesn't want any scarring, any bleeding, no stitches, because then you get suspended by the fighting commission and you can't fight until you get cleared by a doctor. So he gets cleared by doctors all the time because he's not really in there to bang. He pretends like he's got forever cardio. You will have forever cardio if you're just casually throwing some strikes here and there. You threw 150 strikes in 15 minutes. It's 30 strikes every round, 50 strikes every round. That's 10 strikes a minute. Okay. I don't think of him like that. I don't think of him as an ass kicker. I don't think anything of him. Not at all. It reminds me of, was that Masvidal? Masvidal? Yeah, that's Marlon Chito Vera. Just a random dude who doesn't need to be in the UFC anymore. I don't think he's any good. I really don't. And Aman Zahibi, his little shell game, and then going out there to strike. You know what I don't like about Zahibi? All his strikes are wide. Nothing is straight down the pipe. It's all wide, looping uppercuts and hooks and outside round kicks and all this. It's just not clean to me. Now, fight IQ on point. And even though we saw Marlon Chito Vera when the fight started, he came out with pressure. He came out to push. He said he gets more tired at practice because he's now pushing himself instead of just staying paced and relaxed the whole time. Once again, Marlon Vera goes out there to push, and pressure. And I pointed out to the MVPs on the live stream, I'm like, guys, this is not what he naturally does. So when he gets tired, you know what stopped? All that pressure. When he got hit even a little bit, what stopped? The game plan stopped. And that's because when you're in a fight, you can go in there with all the coaching strategy you want. You're going to revert back to who you are once you get struck, because you are who you are. You're a product of your lifetime decisions and work ethic and what you put in there. So what Marlon Vera is, Chito Vera is a cruise control driver. He's not out here to win a race off the line. He's not going to pill out when the light turns green. He don't want to see me at the red light. He's not about that life. He don't put his car under launch control. He's not like that. This dude right here, he's cruise control. Make sure you get, oh man, I got 3 gallons of gas. I got to get 30 miles or 60 miles. He's going to get 20 miles a gallon. Like, he's just very efficient with what he's doing, and he's going to get there when he gets there. He don't have that dog in him. Stop thinking of him like that. I don't give a fuck if you know his nickname and you used to see him fight and he's got a shaved head and all these tattoos. He's not getting there the way you envision. The idea of Marlon Chito Vera is a hell of a lot better than the reality of Marlon Chito Vera. When he's in that cage, in that octagon, he doesn't do enough to win fights. And it's been like this for a while. And when I say a while, I'm talking like 5 years. So we fade him every chance we get. Vegas is wrong. We're right. Aman Zahibi wins. Now, Zahibi, after you win like this, you're going to be fighting ranked fighters. I can't imagine he's got a lot of advantages over ranked fighters ahead of him. I can't imagine it. He got good fight IQ. He lacks knockout power. He lacks real grappling. He lacks aggression and athletic ability. There's just nothing too physically imposing about him. So this was the perfect spot to take him. He wins the fight. Next time we see him, we'll see what the odds look like, but we're probably going to fade him. Yeah. Next fight, Kevin Holland and Mike Malott. Kevin Holland is still down taking a knee. He got hit in the nuts, and he's taking a knee. He's absolutely disgusting. Kevin Holland never respects your coin. Never bet on him in a million years. You guys know this. We fade him every time. There's nothing to do here. Vegas loves him. They made it a pick 'em fight. Well, then we'll pick him. We'll go and pick Mike Malott. Mike Malott is a low-volume guy, but at least he's strong, he's powerful, and he wants to win. So I'll rock with Mike Malott. When you see a guy and his record is 13-2, and he's fighting a guy who has 15 losses. Mike Malott is 13-2. The guy he's fighting has 15 losses. As many losses he has. He's lost your entire career. Mike Malott cares about winning. He's not okay with losing. He's not thinking about quitting. He's not thinking about any of that stuff. Kevin Holland is tweeting before this fight. He already wrote on Twitter, hey, put me on that next card. He's already thinking about his next fight. He didn't give a shit about this one. He says he'll be ready for another fight before the end of the year. He wants to be on the last ESPN Plus card. That means he doesn't plan on taking any damage. He's not going to be injured. He's not going to, that's crazy. Because if you take any damage, you don't get cleared by the fight commission. You can't fight within the next 3 months or 2 months. This guy, his priorities are fucked. He's not in it to win it, and he's very complacent. He's okay with losing. Losing doesn't bother him at all. Not at all. Just walking around. That motherfucker walking around with one shoe on. Doesn't care. You ever seen a homeless person with one shoe on? They don't care. They're just walking around. That's Kevin Holland. Fuck him. Mike Malott, thank you for winning. Thank you for respecting our coin. Shout out to us. And then the main event, Rainer the Quitter versus Brendan Allen. Rainer the Ritter, I told you I think he's going to win this fight. He has a physical advantage. He's enormous. I think he can win in the clinch. And then if we get a takedown, he'll be in a dominant body position for the entire round and never lose it. And eventually he'll drown you. That's what he does. And then he goes into this fight. He does exactly what I think. He gets that takedown. He's drowning you. And we're good. We win the first round. Everything's fine. Go to the second round. Comes back out. Gets another takedown. And now he gets both hooks in, falls off the top. Now you're on bottom. And when you're on bottom, Rainer de Ritter has a body triangle? No, this can't be right. He has a body triangle. And he looks tired, and he's taking a beating. And not even a real beating, just a subtle beating. And he's acting like he doesn't know there's 5 rounds in this fight. This is a main event. Your fucking picture's on the poster, bro. I've never seen someone quit in the main event and not from damage. I've seen people quit from damage. I've seen people quit from getting their ass kicked and then they just turn over and they cover their face, they shell up and they wait for the ref to stop it. This is a guy who couldn't get back to the stool three rounds in a row. 2, 3, and 4, not getting back to the stool. Just fucking couldn't get up, exhausted, tired. And then when his corner asked him, are you okay? He said, no. If you give me the option to fight or to quit, fight or flight. He said no. He said, I'm out of here. I live in a home right now. It's Kim and I. Kim and I live here with my dog. If there's a sound in the house at night, one of us has to be willing to go out there into the darkness. One of us has to walk down that dark hallway. One of us has to have the courage to go figure out what the fuck's going on. And I can tell you who does it every single time, without hesitation. Because I don't know what it is to flight. I don't know what it is to flee, to quit. That's not in me. It's not in my DNA. It's not who I am. So I can't relate to people who do it. I can't relate to people who cower and hide in the closet, call 911 and worry. That's not how it works for me. So when I watch a fighter who's trying to earn a living by being an ass kicker, and I watch him mentally quit, not physically quit, his body could keep going. You ever been out running on a trail, hiking? You ever done real long. I've done a ruck march, 26 miles. Shout out to White Sands, New Mexico. You want to quit after 7 miles, but you can go 26 if you just get past the mental part of it. You can do it for 8 hours straight. You'll be tired after the first 20 minutes. Have any of you guys ever walked for 8 hours in a day? You're tired after the first hour. You're like, man, what the fuck are we walking to? Why are we walking? And guess what? Your body will keep going. You want to quit because mentally you're checked out. Mentally, you don't see the benefit of going any further, or you don't think you can go any further. Your body's not giving out. Walk with a blister. When are you going to quit? You know how long you can walk with a blister? Until you make another fucking blister. You walk and a toenail falls off. You know how long you can walk? Until another toenail falls off. Everybody's built to do that. You can do it. You just don't want to. Or you don't need to. Rainer DeRitter's a quitter. And he's got a quit button, and that's that. Let's talk about his ability to fight, though. Where is it? He doesn't know when to inflict damage. So he's a grappler. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. But when you train jiu-jitsu, nobody's punching anybody. Go join a jiu-jitsu gym tomorrow. You're not coming home with a black eye, a busted lip, an orbital bone fracture, none of that. You're going to come home and go, man, my forearms are really tired. What happened? Oh, I was just gripping a lot. Oh, yeah, I was grabbing onto gis, and I was holding this choke, and I was doing this, and oh, by the way, my coach taught me, just pull guard, and you'll get a submission this way. So now when we start, we clap, we do a roll, and then we pull guard. That's jiu-jitsu. That's a jiu-jitsu gym. That's what it looks like. It's a bunch of dudes in bathrobes working on their grip strength. And then just talking and naming every move they can do. Well, I almost got an omoplata. I almost got a Kimura. I almost got... Dude, just punch one of them dudes in the face. Learn how to defensively grapple. Punch any of them in the face. They won't even know what happened. Meet a black belt in Taekwondo. Never been punched in the face in their life. Meet a karate black belt. Shout out to Mannion Farrell. Meet a karate black belt who's been breaking boards and bricks. Punch him in the face. Never happened in their life. They've been training their whole adult life, never been punched in the face. They'll fucking react like a civilian on a plane if you smack them on the face. Like, they would just, they'd be calling for security and shit. That's Rainer DeRitter. Rainer DeRitter is grappling in an MMA match, and he thinks he's wearing a fucking gi. He thinks this is jiu-jitsu class. He's got a closed guard. He's got a body triangle from the bottom. Even when he's on top, he doesn't know when to inflict pain. He doesn't know what positions he can strike from. He's too busy worrying about, like, oh, man, I think I got to get behind this elbow. I heard if I get my bicep on his carotid, I can then get an arm triangle. I got to jump out to this side. Like, he's doing jiu-jitsu class. No striking. And he's even to the point where he's laying on his back, trying to get... It was a straight armbar, what he was trying to get, if you guys didn't know. But the elbows keeps clearing. The arm's not even in there. He's just got his feet hooked around. He looks fucking silly. He looked absolutely silly. He looked embarrassing to me. And there's nothing more embarrassing than just quitting in a main event of a UFC fight and not getting up off the stool. No, that's crazy. Brendan Allen took the fight on short notice. He was in shape. He was safe. He was calm. Yes, he got taken down, didn't get up after the first round. Most people don't survive this. Brendan Allen, I don't think I would have ever picked him to win this fight. Because the idea was Rainer DeRitter has a skill set people can't not handle. Brendan Allen did not show me that he could out-grapple Rainer DeRitter. What he showed me is that he's an MMA fighter. Brendan Allen was able to strike. He knew when to strike in top position. He knew when to strike in side control, half guard, anywhere. Even when he had him in rear mount, even when he had his back, Brendan Allen knows, okay, I'm going to pepper him up with strikes and try to get a choke. I was just really impressed with what Brendan Allen's doing. And it's 11 minutes control time. Good stuff. So those are the two fighters. We know Brendan Allen has a complete fight game. Rainer DeRitter, he fights like a baby giraffe. He has a baby giraffe syndrome. Like, he strikes really awkwardly. He's off balance. None of it's going to hurt. It's just a way to get closer to you, and then he wants to grapple with you and hug you. But he ain't going to strike you at all during any of it. He's just not about that life. And that's the results of the show. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching Results Show. Remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.